My daughters Ramona and Juno are 13 and 15 and have never been to school. And let me tell you, they are some of the happiest, most grounded, wisest, funniest, most generally fun, smart people I know. So in a kind of zoomed out way, I don't have any regrets about unschooling and the path that we chose for our family life. Somehow, despite all of our failings, they have turned out to be incredible people. However, I did feel it would be worth sharing the two things that I do look back on and wonder about. Let's go right ahead and call them regrets, although I do kind of wheel back around in a positive way at the end of the video, so do keep watching. It might be that is my Pollyanna, always look at the silver lining kind of personality. Or it might be that actually this whole thing and the decisions we make for our family is a lot more complex and nuanced than we think. But let me go right ahead and share my regrets. Number one, we were so inconsistent. Like, we win the award for the most inconsistent family you have ever met on this planet. We are a fully neurospicy family, myself, my partner, both kids. And it's like we just don't have a consistent bone in our body. And sometimes I do wonder if a consistent bone might have been a little bit helpful. For example, I remember when they were really young, we would read books to them every night. And I would say to extended family members, our plan for unschooling is to just read to them. We'll just read, and that will be our whole unschooling program. And I truly believe, even to this day, that would genuinely be so good. Could we do it? No. As soon as our kids actually showed a little bit of will, reading at bedtime just completely went out of the window. Bedtimes just happened when everybody kind of fell asleep. Our motto with bed was just everybody try and get as much sleep as they can. We had no routine. We had no dramas either. But reading did not happen. And actually, looking back on the years, I would say we read about 1% of what I thought we would have read. Very few books were read. My kids really didn't like the library. It felt like a drag every time I took them there. They really did not ever get the bug for books, and I do feel at fault for that. However, Ramona got the bug for books last year at 14 and just began diving in, fully motivated, completely by herself. The only thing I did do was read constantly myself all day and all night in front of them, and I feel like, maybe that counted for something. Number 2 regret. I wanted to be the bomb unschooler. I wanted to be so unschooly. I took all of the unschooling literature, all of the unschooling advice, and I dialed in. It took me way too long to listen to my own wisdom. I would have a problem and be faced with something, and then I would immediately outsource and try and figure out what other people thought I should do, what the unschooling gurus thought I should do. I genuinely wish that I had gone through a season of reading everything and really getting hot on unschooling, and then gone through an earlier season of what does my inner wisdom say about this. I did get to that a few years down the track, but I wish it had come sooner. I'll give you an example, and I'm sorry to use this old chestnut, but I had learned from the unschooling world that the only way to unschool television, movies, the internet was to just really let them go for it. And so from quite an early age, my kids could do what they want with watching and technology for quite a bunch of times. I can remember Ramona being 5 and she was really in peak television mode, and we went overseas to England and she basically didn't want to do anything but watch. We were at a safari park and she felt she had to leave and then she came home and she watched gorillas on the television. Some part of me goes, I still was the perfect mum in all of those situations for her and her brain and her PDA. And at the same time, I truly know that for myself, I wasn't listening to my inner wisdom. I was just trying to be a really good unschooler. And I thought that I knew that I had to obey the rules of letting them do whatever they want with screens. I don't know if I would have acted differently in that situation. I might not have done, but I wish I was more connected to my wisdom. At that time, I didn't have the inner wisdom and an inner anchor to actually be able to disappoint my kids or disappoint the unschooling authorities by saying, hey, you know what? That's actually too much television for a 5-year-old. I wasn't able to do that. I just wanted to do unschooling really well. So those are my honest regrets. But here is a little bit more nuance around it. I can't help but feel that even in both of those examples, they speak to like a bigger picture energy that was going on. So like, sure, we're inconsistent. We're unable to do like fundamental things, but we are also extremely accepting of ourselves. Like, I'm not self-punishing because I'm not able to do all the stuff that another person might be able to do. I'm not constantly looking at like perfect homeschoolers and going, oh, we should be doing that, we should be doing that, we should be doing that. That's just the whole vibe of we should be doing. We should be like being neat and tidy and consistent and crafty. We didn't have that. So there was a lot of acceptance in our household. And I genuinely think that that vibe of very radical acceptance of our brains and our limitations and what we can do has served us so well and has been a quite big part of why the kids are so chill and cool. I do think there is something in this kind of quiet, loose chaos where the only thing that anchors us is not a schedule or a rhythm, but time together and conversation. That was our unschooling. Time together and conversation. And it seems to have been enough of an anchor in all of the chaos. And on the screen thing, honestly, no one knows what the hell to do. I am so glad I didn't lead with fear. I'm so glad I didn't clamp down and say no screens. I do not look at people who are doing that online and think that's the way. It just isn't the way. It's kind of like a lose-lose situation. All we can do is turn inward to our wisdom and go, really, what does my own wisdom say about my particular children and their use of television and the internet? In hindsight, I do not think any unschooler is going to grow up and say, I'm so glad, Mum, that you let me spend all my free time in childhood watching. That's one of those things about unschooling that I actually think grown-up unschoolers might say, I wish I had more time where I wasn't being told stuff from other people on screens. That's my kind of gut instinct about this. If I was to do the whole thing all over again, I would have a lot of technology, a lot of movies. My kids are hilarious because they watch so much inappropriate television like The Simpsons, and humor is the number one human skill in this life. So I'm really grateful of that. So if I was to do it all again, I would have loads of screen time, but not free reign. Now, I understand that this video might land as confusing as all get out, but what I hope you receive from this video is this information that even I, Lucy Aitkenreid, the most strident of all unschoolers, has murky and wobbly times, and did have them. This is absolutely not another unschooling guru saying you must do it that way. I would like for this video to just be full permission to you to let go of perfectionism and simply tune into your wisdom. to make peace with the parts of you that aren't good enough, the parts of you that are disappointing or just can't make things happen that you always thought you would. The majority of my work these days is exactly this: helping women move out of shame, helping mothers live fully as themselves. I have a free event next week that is just for this. It's a collective ritual. It's going to be so beautiful. There's going to be women and mothers from all over the world. We're just going to make our peace with the ways that we've been disappointing, and we're going to reclaim any parts of ourselves that we're banishing, that are diminishing our light. And you're warmly invited. I'll pop all the details below.